Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to MUFC versus everybody. I am your host, Sean, and today I am giving my 3 thoughts on the match as Manchester United lift the FA Cup for a 13th time. Get in! What a match. What a match. Can't wait to hear everybody's thoughts today. I am pumped about this. Man, what a match. Unfortunately, I didn't get to watch it live. As I said, had a personal family loss and was at a funeral yesterday, so I do appreciate everybody's thoughts and prayers on that regard. But I did manage to watch the match after I got home. I watched the replay on ESPN Plus, and I was so pumped. I did my best to avoid any updates or anything during the match, right? But as I got in my car to head home, I saw I had texts from a friend of mine, and I foolishly checked them, and he likes to text when we score. And so kind of at least knew that we scored. But what a match, though. Man, I can't wait to get stuck in today. It's going to be a fun one. So before we do, though, please don't forget to hit that like button. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you are new. Not only does it help the community grow and help the channel reach more people, obviously help me grow. As a creator, I guess I'll call myself a content creator. I don't know how I feel about that yet. But it does get you entered into the drawings for the giveaways. Speaking of which, we just did our first giveaway as a channel. If you didn't yet watch that video, this is what we are giving away. This is a Rio Ferdinand jersey from the 2009-2010. It is brand new. It's got the tags on it. It's got the patches. It's a men's size medium. And we did our drawing, randomly selected a subscriber. And our first ever giveaway winner, congratulations to Dylan J. I'm not going to throw out his last name because I don't know how that works for you guys. But Dylan J, you are the winner of our first giveaway as a channel. This new with tags Rio Ferdinand jersey from 2009-2010 is yours. And I will be reaching out soon to get your info and get you hooked up with that beautiful piece of memorabilia so you can rock that every match home and away and support the club. So big up Dylan. Big up you guys for subscribing and watching the channel. And if you guys want to see some more giveaways, if you want to get involved in more of those giveaways, you want to be entered for a chance to win in these giveaways, because I do have a lot of stuff that I could give away. And, I could always grab some new stuff as well. But please subscribe to the channel. That's how it works. It helps us grow, helps you get involved, and helps you get involved in the giveaways. So big up Dylan J. Can't wait to get this to you. Can't wait to see how it looks when you get it. Throw it on, take a photo, tag the channel, post it to my profile on Twitter, and I can't wait to see. So big up. Moving on. So if you haven't yet seen Alejandro Garnacho's goal, his bicycle kick against Everton, it was announced this morning that it has been voted the Premier League's goal of the season officially. So he's already gotten that award from BBC. He's already gotten that award from The Athletic, and now it's official. He is the Premier League's, I think it's like Budweiser, which is so weird to me. Such an American brand of beer is sponsoring the Premier League goal of the season. But he won, and so the only thing left to lift is the Puskas for this kid. What a goal, what a ride that he's had in his last few seasons since breaking into the first team, and I'm excited. Well done, kid. Let's get on to the big stuff, though. FA Cup winners 13 times. Manchester United have beaten Man City 2-1 at Wembley to win the FA Cup for a 13th time. And I have to say, now obviously if you saw my match preview, I did not predict us to win. I predicted us losing 2-1. I did say I thought it was going to be closer just in the way we've been playing, and I think that we saw that as well. But because we won convincingly, right? I think that's what surprised me as well. We didn't look vulnerable. we never looked unable to handle situations. I think it got maybe a little scary towards the end when Doku came on and really started getting at us. But that's what you do against tired legs. You bring on, fast attackers. You bring on the energy, fresh legs. We did look like we were in control most of the game. It reminded me of watching, United side from 15, 20 years ago. We were just calm, even soaking up pressure and compact. We never looked like we were scrambling. It was calm, composed. It looked like we knew what the plan was. It looked like everybody read the assignment. We all got it down. We got it, and it looked good. Unlike City, who looked like they just never could get going, right? 2 subs at halftime, that's never a good look for a manager. You're pretty much saying, yeah, I got it wrong, let's change it. Nothing bad about that necessarily, but it does show that we were in control. We saw Pep yelling at his players, getting frustrated they weren't listening to him. And like, if that were Ten Hag, right, the stories would be out today, has he lost the dressing room, players aren't listening to him. So let's keep it 100 for everybody here. And again, from the opening whistle, you could see that we had a plan, and everyone just understood what they were supposed to do, except for City fans who apparently thought it would be a good idea to start things off with the Poznan when the teams were being announced. What a joke of a club. What a joke of a fan base. I get that, it's a big match and Manchester derby, but I'm kind of sick and tired of the media and in general trying to force this. Oh, City, you win a match. It's a match against your biggest rival. City are not our biggest rivals. City aren't anyone's biggest rivals because City have only been relevant for just over a decade. They're not our biggest rivals. Liverpool are our biggest rivals. Leeds, big rivals. I consider Arsenal a bigger rival than City if you go back, 20 years. For those of you who aren't quite old enough, 20 years ago, turn of the millennium kind of thing, that was Arsenal United. That was blow for blow, just slugfest. It was heated. Martin Keown, Ruben Nistelrooy, Gera Keane. It was a heated time. And so go watch some of those matches and those highlights. And you want to talk about real rivals. City, they're nothing. Manchester is red. It'll always be red, no matter how many players you buy, no matter how many the refs you pay, and how many charges you accumulate. Speaking of a joke club, did you guys see the tweet from Arsenal's official Twitter? This is official Twitter account from Arsenal right after the match. So Arsenal, in desperate attempt to stay relevant, right, amidst another bottle job of a season, by the way, they posted, "We have a legacy in the FA Cup like no other team, having lifted the trophy a record 14 times. Oh, Arsenal, how desperate can you get to try to stay in the conversation? This is why your fans are the worst and the most deluded. This right here is the equivalent of somebody who cannot sing at all trying out for American Idol at an audition, like a televised audition. Like, this is delusion. This is overhyped. This is denial. Just accept it. You guys are just not there, and you won't be there under Arteta. I'm sorry, but you won't. He's the guy before the guy, and the sooner you guys realize that, the better you guys will be. Because you won't win next year either. It's just not going to happen. Moving on, because that's all the time I would give Arsenal today. Want to dive in with my 3 thoughts on the match. So before I do, again, don't forget to get stuck in, comment in the live chat if you guys want to. Hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, please. So number 1, what a difference it makes having players fit, right? I mean, we've gone on and on about the injuries this season, right? We've had a record number of injuries this season in the league. We've only had our first center back pairing, aside from yesterday, available like 4 or 5 times. And for tactical managers, that's a big deal. For a system that plays out from the back, that's a huge deal. And so Ten Hag has said a few times, when I have my players fit, you will see. And we had our players fit, and we saw. And it was night and day difference. I don't want to hear anybody ever again complain about any injuries. If we haven't been able to use the fact that we've had a record number of injuries as a contributing factor to the struggles this season, a record number of injuries, by the way, in the league, worse than any other club, then nobody can complain about an injury. I don't want to hear Liverpool complain that Mo Salah was injured in the final against Madrid, and that's why I don't care. I don't want to hear them complain about Virgil van Dijk getting injured by Jordan Pickford. Doesn't matter at this point. I don't want to hear Newcastle complain. I don't want to hear City complain when Rodri gets suspended or Haaland goes or De Bruyne. Doesn't matter. If we can't use a record number of injuries as a contributing factor, then no one can use injuries ever again. Okay? And I've said many times, I get the injuries. I wanted Ten Hag to change his style to accommodate that fact, which he hasn't done. So Ten Hag isn't without his criticism in that regard, but it's injuries. And we saw it yesterday. If you watch, this is why it bugs me that I can only watch the FA Cup on ESPN FC, because ESPN FC is the worst. Craig Burley, Stevie Nicol, Rob, they're all the worst. You know, they're banging on about injuries, and they start, you know, Mark Ogden and what's his face, Nemad, or I forget the guy's name. Sorry, apologies. Listing injuries. Is it the training methods? No, it's not the training methods, because it's the players who were injured. If you look at the players who've been injured, it's the players who've always been injured. And that's just the way it is. It was either guys like Luke Shaw who are consistently injured, or it's the fact that players like Martinez, there's contact injuries. You can't do anything about that. And quite frankly, it's more down to our medical staff and the recovery process. If you look, a lot of them like Casemiro, Mason Mount, Luke Shaw, Harry Maguire, it's the recovery process, which is that's not on Ten Hag. Medical staff needs sacking. And so it is what it is. But again, having your players back makes a huge difference. Raphael Varane and his swan song at United. What a match from him. He was calm at the back. Watching him play, it was like he dialed back the years. It was like watching him at Madrid again. He was just calm. He looked in rhythm. Like he was on form. Even when City pressed us, Varane never looked worried or anything. It's those qualities, just that composure, that just almost mentally one step ahead, because you just kind of have been in a situation before, these big matches, these big pressure, big players. It's that's experience. That's what that is. And that's a trait that's so underrated, is just having that ability to just recognize this moment is a moment that I've been in many times. I've got this. So underrated. It's what we get from Casemiro when he's playing in midfield. It's what we get from Varane, Johnny Evans. These guys they've been there before and they get it. And he was a key factor in how we played too, playing out from the back. He had excellent pass completion. It was like 95% or something. Completed both of his 2 out of 2 long ball attempts. He made 7 clearances. Like he was a force yesterday. And it's unfortunate that he couldn't stay fit. Injuries do catch up to him, but and he's going to be leaving obviously for free this summer. But wherever he goes, I know he'll do fine, and we wish him the best of luck, and we thank you. Continuing with fit players, we've missed Licha so much, guys. His skill on the ball is among the best I've seen in a defender. You know, it's up there with like a Sergio Ramos and whatnot. He's just so good on the ball, and it's because he's because he is a little shorter, which Jamie Carragher wanted to go in on. But yesterday he won all of his aerial duels. He made a lot of aerial clearances. Haaland didn't win all his aerial duels, so. But it's because he has that low center of gravity. It gives him better balance and better ability to ride out tackles when he's pressed and create space for himself. It's the same as we see from Leo Messi. Messi can get through those tight situations and ride those tackles because his lower center of gravity makes him more balanced. That's why running backs in NFL tend to be shorter, because they got to be balanced and ride tackles in blocks in a very confined space. That's what happens. That's what you need. But with that ability, Licha can create space for himself to bring out the ball from the back, even under pressure. I saw it yesterday. You know, he just did a quick turn, left the pressing attacker behind, and just kind of created a bunch of space for himself from the left to play the ball through. And he played a lot of good balls into the final third. He was really, really good yesterday. And we miss that so much. And that's exactly how Ten Hag wants us to play. And we don't have any other defenders who can do that. And so this is why we've looked so shaky, because throughout the whole season, Onana has only been able to pass it to like Maguire or Evans or Casemiro or Lindelof. And it's just, they can't do that. They just can't. And so the whole system breakdown. And add to that, Leach's personality, we really, really missed. We saw those reports that came out a few months ago that, the dressing room has missed him, his leadership, his energy, his personality. And we saw it yesterday on the pitch. I mean, this guy, he will fight anything and everyone that he sees. He doesn't care. 0 F's to be given. Even coming off the pitch yesterday when it was time for him to sub off, he was up for it. He was fighting. Who was that came over to him? Was it Kyle Walker? Leach doesn't care. Leach doesn't back down from anyone. I don't care who you are. He will fight for this club. He will fight for his team, fight for his manager, his teammates. He doesn't care. He will fight anyone. He shows that fight in the way he plays. He has zero hesitation when he senses danger. And again, that was on show. There was a moment in the second half when City played a through ball to Haaland on a counterattack. And before it reached him, Leach just sensed that. And as the ball was played, he just rushed out and just slid in and cleared it. And that's what we need. That's a Nemanja Vidic style of defending right there. It's just, you read the danger, you step out, and you make things. That's just what we've been missing. We miss the initiative, we miss that responsibility, and that willingness to do what needs to be done because it needs to be done. No questions asked. What we've been seeing throughout the season, though, without Leach, is people not taking responsibility. Everyone just kind of standing around waiting for someone else to handle it. We saw that against Chelsea when Cole Palmer picked up that ball off the corner and scored that late winner. Nobody ran to close him down until it was too late. Leach, that ball would never have reached Cole Palmer, and Cole Palmer never would have gotten that shot off had Martinez been on the pitch. Don't care. So even Rashford too came back yesterday. It started, came back in the mix. He seemed up for it. Obviously didn't get his goal, but he had some chances. He was pressing a little bit more. He was making some runs when McTominay was kind of switching off a little bit to drop a little deeper. And he seemed up for it, which again, we shouldn't celebrate that. We shouldn't need to celebrate that in an FA Cup final. But it was good to see, as far as Rashford is concerned, that he was willing to run a little bit more. And again, he did have a few good chances to get on the end of some long balls, but he still looked a little rusty. Didn't look quite 100%. But I think it's one of those things, you want to play your better players, and no matter his form or not, Rashford is a better player, and he can pop up in those moments. So it's unfortunate he didn't grab a moment yesterday, but he did play a huge part in our second goal with that long raking ball out to Garnacho on the far right, that switch of play. That was a beautiful pass, put it right where it needed to be. We saw him celebrate that moment. People are going on and on about his tears after the match. Like, Bruno was crying too. No one talks about Bruno. Rashford's not going anywhere. It's a big moment, lifting the FA Cup with your boyhood club against Man City. That's a big moment. So let it process. Overall, I thought we looked a lot better. Obviously, we're having, and a big part of that was having the players back who had not been fit for a lot of the season. You could start to see this, like I've talked about in recent matches. You can start to see a little bit of a difference and change. But tonight, with that fit starting 11, it went up a level. We were patient, we were composed, and we showed fight, though, as well. There was a lot of early pressing from Bruno, McTominay, and Garnacho. That was really solid and nearly got us a goal in the 20th minute, not for some better finishing. And then Bruno pressed high again and late in the first half to win that ball in just outside City's box and got a shot away. And it's like, we pressed really well, and we've been doing that really well in the last few weeks. Off the ball, thought we looked really, really patient and composed as well. We did a really good job to cut out City's passing lanes and not give them a whole lot of options. They were forced to pass it back so much. Even De Bruyne and Foden we're dropping back so deep to collect the ball and start to make something happen, because we didn't let them get the ball forward. And I know you look at the first half possession numbers, City had 74% possession, but again, it's what you do with that possession, and City were just passing it back because they couldn't get the ball forward. And we did such a good job of just compacting our half of the pitch and making it difficult to play through. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's how you have to play against City. Defend, compact, and hit them on the counter. And we did that. We did it well. Again, Pep making 2 subs at halftime shows it wasn't working for them. He's yelling at the players. And it was a little funny to see how hard he and City players were appealing for these penalties. The first one was not at all a pen. Second one, not at all a pen. But to have arguably one of the best strikers in the world right now, and supposedly the best city in the world, and the best team in the world, trying to argue and appeal for these pens because that's all they were trying to get, was just sad. And again, a bunch of entitled brats, and that's really the moral of the story there. Moving on, number 2. Youngsters keep on shining, man. Shining together. What about Garnacho's 29th minute opener, guys? That was a goal. And it showed a bit of experience, a bit of footballing IQ there. That long ball over the top. He stuck with it. He didn't give up on it. He fought for it. Didn't give up on the play. And obviously took advantage of the fact that Vardio and Ortega just mixed it up, and he just grabbed a hold of that stupid header from Gvardiol and just slotted it right in. 100 million for Gvardiol, by the way. He scores a few goals, and everyone forgets he costs 100 million. And he's a defender, not an attacker. And so that moment right there shows that he's very young and probably way overpriced and a flop. I remember what I said though: joke of a club, joke of a fan base. I'm actually surprised Pep didn't ask the fans to cheer louder the way but I guess they need some fans first, though, to do that, right? But what a goal from Garnacho to stick with it and not give up on the play and just really start opening his account in the FA Cup final like that. That was good. What about Kobbie Mainoo, though, guys? What a bit of play for our second goal. Again, brilliant passing, brilliant movement. Rashford finding Garnacho with that beautiful switch of play. The little touch from Bruno, though, just the no look, just that little silky little touch. I mean, that was inch perfect to Mainoo, who was just in the right place at the right time. What a calm finish, perfectly placed. Couldn't have done any better. I think Kobbie was voted man of the match too, wasn't he? I think such a good player today, or yesterday, sorry. And what a debut season for Kobbie Mainoo. I mean, he was injured for a big part of it, but he came in and just immediately everybody was talking, not just Man United fans. Everybody was talking about him. Even rival fans were bigging him up because he is that good. Went to England duty and he that good. Playing against Liverpool, that good. Like, Kobbie Mainoo is the truth. We need to build around him because he's the key to our future. Well done. Højlund too came on and looked hungry and eager to get involved. Nearly got us a third goal, after he chased down that kind of cleared ball. City were playing it back, and he just didn't give up. He chased it, and actually made the tackle to win the ball back in City's half. And then he won us a free kick when they had to bring him down when he won the ball back. And that's what Ten Hag wants. Ten Hag wants his attackers, everybody, to basically be able to contribute on and off the ball, and Højlund showed that. Højlund has the personality. He's still very young, so as he grows, the experience will get him a lot of the other stuff that he needs to his game. But it's the intangible, unteachable stuff, like that motivation, that personality, that fight, that hunger. You can't teach those things. But if you have those personality traits there as a player, as you learn other things, it will make you into a very, very good player. And Højlund has that, and he's shown that. It's too bad he didn't get the goal, but he did play a big role in that win just with that one play alone, I think. So good job from him. On that note, though, as far as youngsters go, so Alejandro Garnacho and Kobbie Mainoo have become the first teenagers to score in an FA Cup final since Cristiano Ronaldo in 2004. So it's a big deal. 2 19-year-olds scoring the goals in our final to help us lift the trophy. That's United right there. That's Manchester United. Youth, courage, success. That is United to a T. I know Sir Alex was watching on. I mean, this is what we built this club on, is youth and promotion. And we did it again. It was on show. And I'm so proud of the kids. I know everybody is. And they should celebrate. They should enjoy that. They should soak in every single moment in celebration because they deserve it. They won us that match. And Ten Hag has seen it. He believed in both of them. He promoted Garnacho 2 seasons ago. Kavi was clearly in his plans. Ten Hag understands what it is to rely on youth. He understands what it is to promote. He understands what that means to this club. And it was so good to see it. So the future looks bright indeed with these youngsters, and well done, kids. Number 3. 3 finals, 2 cups, 1 big question remains. You like what I did there? I know you do. So by my account, Erik ten Hag has gotten us to 3 cup finals, and he's won 2 trophies in his first 2 seasons. That's more than Jurgen Klopp did in his first 2 seasons, 3 seasons. More than Arteta has done since he's taken over at Arsenal. Ange Ball climbed into a kangaroo's pouch and hopped away. Eddie Howe, like, but Ten Hag is the one who's under pressure. Ten Hag is the one who's going to get sacked. Again, it's hated, adored, never ignored, right? The agenda against Ten Hag has been present since before his plane even touched down in Manchester after he officially took the job. Since then, the media have been chomping at the bit for him to fail. And this is what you get at Manchester United. No other club has this kind of pressure. Literally no other club. The biggest club in the world. And with that comes the biggest pressure for the manager. But a lot of that is undue and unfounded because it comes from the media. Ten Hag knows how big the job is. He understands that. But he's delivered. Yes, we've struggled in the league this season. Injuries played a big part of that. Ten Hag played a big part as well. But he's lifted another trophy. There's 2 trophies. No United manager has done that since Sir Alex. 2 trophies in consecutive seasons like that. It's a big deal. He still has one of the highest win percentages of any manager since Fergie. 3 cup finals, like I said. I mean, he's had to deal with so much crap too. I'm not gonna go into all of it. Check out one of my older videos on all the stuff that he's had to deal with as Manchester United manager so far. Go back and look at that video. Don't forget to like and leave a comment on that. But we saw again, the day before this cup final, news broke from The Guardian that Ten Hag was going to be sacked, which is just a classless thing to put out. How desperate can you get to see somebody fail? You're posting this stuff the day before a cup final. It would have been easy for most managers, most clubs to just let the frustration get to them, to let that pressure sink in and internalize it and struggle in the big match. But Ten Hag, though, he set up his players, the way we need to play against City. And on the day, we just looked better. And Pep and City, didn't. We were better than them. When the final whistle was blown, it was Ten Hag's trophy to lift, and he did, and he deserved it. The coaching staff pushed him to go lift the trophy. The players pushed the trophy. He's a humble guy. He doesn't believe in that. He is the kind of manager who will say, yes, celebrate, but tomorrow morning I'm back in the office and we're planning. That does make it 2 cups in his first 2 seasons, something any manager at any club would back and would celebrate. And again, something no manager has done since Sir Alex. The players play for Ten Hag. He has trophies to back himself up. His stellar win percentage, like I said, in last season was a great season. It's hard to argue that he could have done any better last season, considering what he walked into and what he had to deal with and where the club was at. And again, injuries. We're not allowed to mention the injuries, though. So yet, amidst the celebrations, amidst lifting the trophy, amidst all that, there's just one big question that looms in the corner of the room while everyone's partying. Was this enough to save Ten Hag's job? Will he be Manchester United manager next season? It shouldn't be the question on everyone's mind. It shouldn't even be a question after all is said and done, considering what's going on. But it is. We saw after the match, I don't know if you saw the footage. So I think it was in the players' tunnel, somebody stopped Sir Jim and asked him, Ten Hag, is he staying? And Sir Jim kind of just walked away without answering the question. It's that, sorry, I'm going to sneeze here. The club has been silent, and it's that kind of moment this week after all the rumors have been back. It doesn't help. It hasn't helped Ten Hag. The club has been so silent. They've refused to say anything. And again, this leaves Ten Hag to field questions from the media about and speculation and rude-ass interviewers, by the way. Looking at you, Gary Lineker, Alan Shearer. That was such a rude interaction between you guys and Ten Hag. And big up Ten Hag for calling you both out. Right? That was such a dick move from both of you. Don't sit there as he's literally trying to celebrate this, and you guys are like, "Oh, you're going to be here? There's a reason we criticize." Shut up, Alan Shearer. What have you done, man? Get out of here. It feels like it's going to be an interesting week, but until anything is announced, let's try to celebrate lifting the FA Cup for the 13th time. Let's get behind Ten Hag. Let's assume everything is business as usual, and try not to just buy into everything the media is going to come out with, because we've seen that they are biased. They have an agenda. The hate is real, and they're going to look for everything and anything they can to just heap this mountain of speculation around the club and around Ten Hag. And to be fair, Ten Hag responded well against Alan Shearer, against Gary Lineker. It was also in another interview after the match, he threw out perhaps his boldest comment yet regarding his future. He said, if they don't want me, talking about the owners, then I go somewhere else to win trophies, because that is what I do. And he's right. He won trophies at Ajax, and I know everyone's always like, oh, Ajax always win. Deep it. Check your history again. It shows you have zero football knowledge when you say that, because Ajax weren't winning for like 4 or 5, almost 6 years before he showed up. And they hadn't been in Champions League semifinal for like 20 years before he got there. And look what's happened since at Ajax. I mean, they've gone through how many managers in 2 years now? And it's under Ajax watch now. All these managers at Feyenoord have lifted trophies at Eindhoven. Like, no Ten Hag, no party. Ten Hag is a good manager. If he was sacked today, I guarantee you, clubs like Bayern, Juve, whoever would be calling him up, and because he's a good manager, he wins trophies, and he's shown that. And so it feels like it's going to be an interesting week again. Let's celebrate lifting the trophy. Let's celebrate the team. We are FA Cup winners, alongside the women's team, who hopefully, if you remember, won their FA Cup as well this season. So has any other club done that? Men's and women's team lifting the FA Cup the same season? That's a huge deal. We had to beat Liverpool to do it. We had to beat City to do it. That's a big deal as well. So we can't forget that. I know some people, like I say it many times about the Champions League, I think that the league is a little harder than the Champions League. It's kind of like the NFL. You don't have to play everybody in the NFL to win the Super Bowl. You don't have to play everybody in the Champions League to win the Champions League. Favorable draw can mean an easier route. It's the same with the FA Cup. Again, we beat Liverpool, we beat City, and we deserve to be FA Cup champions. And so I'm so proud of everybody. Not only does this put us into the Europa League group stage, which is awesome. And a little selfishly awesome for me too, because I'm going back in October, September-ish. I'm going to try to get to the Europa League match, going to try to find a league match. And because of the Thursday, Sunday thing, that means I'll also maybe get to go check out a Salford match on a Saturday if all the planets align and these matches are all at home, which is difficult. That was what I did the first time I went last March. We went Real Betis and then Southampton, and then hopped a train to Crewe, because Salford were playing Crewe away on that Saturday. Hopped a train to go check those guys out, and it was great. Got to watch Ethan Galbraith. Big up Crewe Alexandra for just the hospitality for the traveling fans. They have a nice little bar, a little lounge set up. Come in, grab a couple Guinnesses before the match, watch the match. The train station is like literally a block away. It was awesome. Got there a little early, got some dinner, a lot of good spots around there. So hopefully I can make that happen again. But I'm super happy that we're in the Europa League now. What that also means is that Chelsea are now knocked down to the Conference League. So, haha. And Newcastle miss out on Europe altogether now, because both clubs needed City to win the cup to qualify for their respective European competitions. So it is what it is. We're back in the Europa League. Obviously, it's not Champions League, but Europa League is probably our level at the moment with everything going on and where we're at as a club right now, and the rebuild needed and the players leaving and whatnot. So celebrate that. Yes, it's Thursday night football, but again, it's better than nothing. So we'll get back. Don't worry. It takes time. But again, big up the team. What a crazy ride it's been this season, right? But those are my 3 thoughts. Having players fit makes a difference. Youngsters shine again, and 3 finals, 2 trophies, 1 big question about Ten Hag's future. So let me know your thoughts. Again, Raphael Varane, take a bow. What a way to end your United career. Merci and au revoir, mon ami. We appreciate all that you've done for us, and you were a force yesterday. What a Rolls Royce of a defender. Let me know your thoughts. Please don't forget to hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're new. If you want to win things like Dylan J, who did win this first giveaway, this Rio Ferdinand jersey, that's the only way to enter is to subscribe. So help the channel grow, get yourself entered in these giveaways. Let me know in the comments, your thoughts on the match. Let me know in the comments if you'd like to see more giveaways. Obviously, what kind of things would you like? I'm not going to buy you tickets to a match or anything. And I will not, sorry to bust anyone's bubble, I'm not going to order anything from the United Megastore because I don't like giving money to the club. I'll find you a jersey if that's what you want, but it's not coming from the United directly. So sorry about that. If you guys are all about the $150 home jerseys, I'm not doing it. So, but I will hook you up with something else. I've got a lot of stuff here. I can order stuff from a lot of different places online. So thank you guys for watching. Again, like the video, subscribe to the channel, follow me on Twitter, and I will see you guys in the next one. Later.